Nate, were you surprised that John Jones tested positive?
Everybody's on steroids.
That is just a theory, a game theory.
Sports are ingrained in our human culture. Watching motherfuckers run around in the mud or roll around in the mud or, I don't know, mostly stuff in the mud has been prevalent throughout all of human history. The Olympics is quite literally something that the ancient Greeks did. That's how fucking old this shit is. There have been fat dads pointing and criticizing athletic people, saying that they could do that shit while chugging a fucking Coors Light for as long as, like, I don't know, the earth has probably existed. Sports started out as a competition between the everyday man that was most dedicated to their diet, their strategy of the sport, and their athletic prowess. Now it's the same thing, but just add some grade A pharmaceutical lab synthesized go-go juice. PEDs have been rampant in sports since they were like popularized in the 1960s. One of those leagues that have a lot of PED usage is the NFL. I know that's a very polarizing statement, and some people might get mad at me for daring to state that these players that run 4.340s at 400 pounds are on some sort of performance-enhancing drug. And you might argue with me, Bradley, how dare you accuse these hard-working players? The NFL has drug tests, random drug tests. Players have access to world-class trainers and nutritionists with elite genetics. You know, the way I worded that sounds like the nutritionists have elite genetics. And then I respond by saying, yes, that's true. But they're still using steroids, and I'm gonna tell you why I think that. This is not a legal attack on the NFL. Please don't sue me. This is all my opinion. First Amendment, bitch. Remember when you were a kid, if you watched wrestling in the WWE and you thought that these people were actually like fucking smacking each other with chairs and kicking each other's ass? Well, the NFL's like that, but they actually are kicking each other's ass. They just lie about how they got so goddamn big. The NFL drug test is kind of a fucking sham. It's a PR drug test, if anything, because it tests for the most basic and like well-established PEDs. Like, these NFL players don't have millions of dollars to find the best substances that have yet to be detected or they can mask. There's a sort of Cold War arms race between PEDs and the PED tests. It's not very easy to keep the tests up to date with all the new drugs that come out. Dozens of new PEDs come out every single year, and sometimes they're even synthesized by big pharmaceutical companies. I'm not gonna act like the tests couldn't keep up. They totally could. You'd really have to stay on top of it, which the NFL doesn't and don't want to do. Now, I don't want to piss NFL fans off. I love the NFL myself. I'm an avid Detroit Lions fan. Go fucking grit, baby. Go Lions. Go Detroit Lions. I just think it's silly to think that a 320-pound man running a 5-second 40-yard dash, which is like the average 40-yard dash of a person half their weight, and benching 600 pounds at the same time is a natural athlete. I think that's complete madness. I don't even think that's the full extent of it. NFL players go through a 17-week season. That's if they don't make the playoffs. And also, I didn't count the preseason, training camp, rookie camp. I didn't count all the fucking shit you do before that. They spend half of the year hitting each other and beating the shit out of each other. And not to mention, they still hit the weight room like every day. Don't get me wrong, I do believe these players are talented and genetic freaks, but I have absolutely zero doubt in my mind that they don't use some sort of PED, because otherwise, no NFL player would last longer than like 3 seasons. And that's especially if you're a lineman. Maybe a quarterback or a fucking kicker. I can see them not using PEDs. Some players play like 12 years in the NFL of just non-stop beatings for 6 months of the year. Some players play until they're fucking 40 years old. Frank Gore played till he was like 39, and he's a running back. One of the positions where you get like the most beat up. And I really don't think that's something a natural person could handle. Even if you're a genetic freak, by the time you're 40, most people are like, you know, they can barely get out of fucking bed, much less, you know, go play the goddamn Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys suck. If any natural person who was 6'7", 300 pounds, even played like a 250-pound linebacker in the NFL, they would end up playing for like, 10 minutes before they die. Because if you look at it, the average 6'7" genetically gifted man who's 300 pounds is fat as fuck because he's 300 pounds. He's a fatty. I mean, I played high school football in the Midwest. I still have knee problems from playing as and playing against a bunch of scrubs for 4 years. Now imagine being in the fucking I ain't no slouch. I ain't no pussy, all right? I'm built like a Greek god. Anyway, I think it's funny when NFL players act really offended when you accuse them of juicing.
The entire HGH conversation became a hilarious one. I mean, that was awesome. I was right in the middle of that. Like in the NFL, it is not a cool thing to be somebody that's on PEDs. Like in the NFL, it's not considered a cool thing.
I don't know anybody. I don't know one player. I played 11 years. I never heard anyone even talk about in a serious manner they were taking something. People that watch the NFL, they assume 100% of the players, or maybe, well, they probably think a couple kickers are not on. Like they just assume everybody's doing it.
What's that about?
Oh, I wasn't one of them. Go ahead.
They always play it off like, oh, we get drug tested randomly all the time, you know? Like fucking Myles Garrett, dude. Myles Garrett, if you looked at that motherfucker, he's 240 pounds, 6'4", and looks like he's ready for a bodybuilding show. He looks like Popeye year round. Year round for most bodybuilders, especially natural bodybuilders, they have to get fat as shit for half the year, and then the other half they have to cut down to anorexic levels of body fat. And let me tell you, they sure as hell wouldn't be able to get on the fucking line of scrimmage and play a 3-hour game. Another great example of like a guy like Myles Garrett would be Aaron Donald. He was 280 pounds at 6'1" in vascular. This motherfucker had veins popping at 280 pounds. I don't care if you've never had a carb in your entire life. You are not going to attain that naturally. The average person who is 6'1" and 280 pounds is considered obese. Like, okay, maybe you could bring this up. There's like this one dude from fucking Kakistan who's a 1% of a 1% guy, and then I'd be like, he doesn't exist. I don't believe that. He's probably lying. He probably pissed in one of them fucking commie Russian piss cups, okay? And it's not even just the veins that get me. It's the fact that these people heal like fucking Wolverine. There are NFL players tearing their ACLs and coming back for like the Super Bowl and shit. An ACL tear, like naturally, is kind of just like the fucking end of your career, okay? An ACL tear, you're fucked. Your leg's never gonna be the same. Unless you have, like, I don't know, something that would help you, like, heal really fast. Like, sure, therapy in the NFL, top tier, all right? They aren't miracle workers. They aren't witch doctors, all right? They don't practice alchemy. But they do have the funds, resources, and connections to obtain PEDs that are undetectable. Because PEDs don't just get you big and jacked and, like, fucking bulky. There's also PEDs that make it so you can recover quicker and so you heal quicker. They're like super serums. But if the super serum also gave you heart disease... The NFL does not care if their players juice. In fact, they probably encourage it. They probably want it. I mean, nobody wants to watch a guy like me play like fucking wide receiver, okay? For one, I'm slow as shit, and for two, I'm 5'10" and 175 pounds. The spectacle makes much more money than the integrity of the game ever would or ever will. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind PEDs being in the NFL, okay? I don't care if the players use PEDs. It's a brutal season. It's a long season. It's unrealistic to tell these people that they got to get their shit kicked in for 6 months and then, like, not be able to use something that helps them heal or helps them perform better. Like, I don't think that's necessarily a problem. Like, if nobody was on PEDs, for one, the NFL would be boring as shit. For two, they'd have to cut the season in half or everybody would be on IR by like week 12. Let's be real here. Lying is not above the NFL, okay? They literally tried to ruin the life of the guy who exposed CTE. So lying about steroid usage, not a crazy tinfoil hat theory. And there's actually a great question you could ask me that makes me look like a retard. You might ask me, well then, why do they even have tests? And why did they even ban PEDs if the NFL wants that? And I think I have a pretty decent answer, right? I got a couple explanations. One of the reasons would be what we talked about earlier with the spectacle. The NFL would be boring. And another reason was it absolutely cooked their brand, right? Their brand would be ruined. If it was widespread that the NFL players weren't genetically God-gifted, hardworking athletes who ate their spinach and went to bed at 9 p.m. I didn't script this, but I'm gonna put this in. It's kind of like if you've seen The Boys. You know how like everybody thinks that the super is a spoiler. You know how everybody thinks like the Soups are like gifted from God. They're all like squeaky clean, great guys gifted from God, but in reality they're just like a bunch of people with super steroids. It's kind of like that. It would look terrible for one because that would mean they have been lying for the past 60 fucking years, and two, they would make the NFL dream seem way less romanticized. It's one thing to dream about going to the NFL if you don't know players are on PEDs, because then you can be like, well, you know, maybe if I got lucky with my genetics and I work hard and I go to sleep every night at a great time, I'll have a shot. There's no unhealthy risk in that mindset, and if anything, it's promotion for taking care of yourself and working towards a better goal. Now imagine telling the kid, Yeah, you gotta do all that stuff, but you also have to pin a needle in your ass every once in a while. It doesn't sound as wholesome. Not to mention it holds many health risks. Many NFL players die before they're 60, especially offensive linemen. Now, part of that's from probably the steroids, and part of that's also probably from being fat as shit. Now, you might be asking, why does the NFL give a shit if kids have the NFL dream? Well, I think I have a couple theories for that, too, alright? I'm Mr. fucking Bill Nye here, theory man. You might think because, oh, they want more players. They want more superstars in their league that can play and entertain the fans, and that's kind of true. That's kind of true in a sense. That's probably got a little truth to it. But my bet is that they want more fans. I mean, there's always going to be players. There's always going to be people wanting to make the big bucks in the NFL, willing to shoot up some roids, dude. Okay, but think about this: if you play football, if you dream about playing in the NFL, you're most likely going to watch football. You're most likely going to idolize some of the players. You're mostly going to buy tickets, jerseys, maybe subscribe to YouTube TV, maybe get a sports betting account, wink, wink, maybe subscribe to my YouTube channel, wink, wink. The NFL cares way more about fans consuming their content than, like, I don't know, having players and new players, because there's always going to be new players. That's guaranteed. But what's not guaranteed is the success of the brand. The NFL's like cigarette companies in a way, where they want to expose you very young to the NFL, because that's when we form our habits and our addictions, is when we're really young. It's easier to have a lifelong consumer that way. I'm not saying the NFL is as bad as cigarettes, okay? I'm pretty sure watching football doesn't give you cancer. But I just hate when people close their eyes and plug their ears when the reality sets in that you're most likely going to have to enhance yourself to get to the top. People really like to think that the everyday man who has integrity and kindness and works hard and does the right thing will make it to the top of their field. Unfortunately, 99% of the time, that's just not the case, okay? You have to cheat, you kind of have to step on people, and you gotta fuck some people over to get to the top of your field. It's why every politician is a bad person, because one way or another, they had to, like, fucking step on someone or do some terrible shit or take some money from some terrible person to get to the top. You can't get to the top without being morally compromised in a way. That was really depressing. But to make you feel better, getting to the top of your field should never be the most important thing to you, because only one person can be on the top, and they probably fucking hate their lives. My conclusion to this epic YouTube expose video, okay, this new revelation never thought before of, the commentary style shit, baby, I'm the best around, is that I think NFL players are hardworking and talented, and I honestly love the NFL, okay? Don't get me wrong, okay? Don't take away the PEDs. I don't think that's a great idea. It's kind of like it's like a Pandora's box. I can't go back from watching people doing, like, fucking backflips over motherfuckers like Saquon to, like, watching, I don't know, Bob the Plumber play fucking defensive line. But I do think it's scummy that the NFL tries to, like, convince everybody that these players are natural. But I guess if they didn't, then people would try to take steroids at younger ages. You know what? This is a pointless video. I just wasted your fucking time. How do you like that, huh? How do you like that? I wasted your time. Every YouTube video is a fucking waste of time if you think about it. Look at you. You're fucking sitting watching a YouTube video right now. You could be doing anything else productive. This ain't productive. You just watched me yap for fucking 12 minutes. Are you happy with yourself? Is it, you stupid piece of shit? Go do something. Do something with your life, alright? Quit scrolling. Do something with your life, alright? Don't think about doing things. Do something right now. Click off this fucking video. If you're still